You're listening to the Hossan Leong podcast. We'd like to thank all our listeners as well as the people who have responded and written in to us. And to say what they felt about the podcast, their feelings. So thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Yeah, it's really very heartening to hear that you actually appreciate what we're talking about. Sometimes we think we're talking nonsense.
So I'm glad we touched you somehow,
Yes.
Now, our next guest, he's a video music producer, he's a musician. He's also currently a producer-presenter on KISS 92 FM with his own radio show. His name is Joshua Simon. Okay, back to millennials. I love working with millennials. If you're not working with a millennial, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably retired. I love working with millennials because millennials work with meaning. Yeah? They need to be engaged when they work. They need to find purpose in their jobs. John, can you please go and get me the green file? But boss, what is my purpose? John, can you purposely go and get me the green file? Okay, this is so fun, okay? First time ever. We have three of us, okay? Joshua, Ben, and I, having a fireside chat here on our Hossan Leong podcast, and we're all from different radio stations.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a radio slut lah, so I've done I've done Power 98, went to Lush, then went to the old Uncle station, Gold, and then Ben,
I'm on Power 98,
and then Josh
on the
KISS.
station that on the time belt that nobody listens to.
When's that?
10 to midnight Sundays.
Well,
Yeah,
I
no.
listen.
Okay,
And I'm going
thank
to
you.
show love, okay? Like when I was a kid, I would listen to Power 98.
Really?
I'm not even playing. I used to have it's sort of like a boombox thing, and I would put it right beside my mattress on the floor because that was my upbringing. And I would play Power 98.
Wow.
And I remember that name, Power 98, so I would always tune into that.
And the jingle, Power 98.
Okay, I forgot that.
Okay, wow.
But I remember listening to Power 98. So, I mean, it's all love here.
Nice, very nice.
So this is the first time Ben and Josh are meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
And you guys should meet and talk about business later. It's very fun. Yeah, and Josh and I have known each other since Josh was younger.
Like a toddler younger.
Wow, thanks. Yeah, we grew up in church together, and so when Josh, when you became a musician, in the spotlight, I was secretly very proud of you. Yeah, I was, and I still am, basically. So I want to ask you, what was the journey like growing up for you?
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, because we grew up in, I would say, a very conservative environment.
Yeah.
And yet here we are doing stuff that people would say, wow, that didn't really look like you would come out where you guys grew up.
Ooh. Wow, where do I start? Do you want the abridged version?
Yeah, okay.
Then I can edit.
Well, I mean, I would just want to say that I'm actually very nervous being on the show.
Why?
Right now, because I usually do interviews, and like, so this is kind of scary. This is really
it's
scary,
not.
especially
It's a
since
chat.
it's like I mean, I love Hossan. I grew up with his mom, actually. His mom taught me Sunday school, Mary, and Stanley would do the music, the praise sessions at our
The youth fellowship.
The youth fellowship, that's what they call it. Yeah, youth fellowship. So he would lead that with the projector screen and everything. So this is kind of surreal. And I mean, we all respect Hossan Leong. He's a legend.
Wow.
Legends only.
Legends of tomorrow.
But he's also just a sweetheart as well. He always checks up on me through like various stages of my life. Every time I want to run away from home, I tell my parents, I'm going to move out. I call Hossan. And he's always there to pick up. So this is very sweet. Okay, what was it like growing up with that? So my dad is a pastor. He was a reverend when I was a child. And it was tough because I was always drawn to listening to Power 98 when my mom was like, listen to 92.4 and like listen to Enya.
Basically with no lyrics.
Yeah, just soft cooing, which apparently is the thing now. Okay, back in the 90s, that was weird. Okay, and like I was drawn to like dance music and R&B and like I didn't know who Whitney Houston was or Mariah Carey. I mean, when I was a kid, I was not exposed to that. I was not allowed to like consume that kind of kind of media. Like my dad would borrow out, because we have a church library, so it was a lot of Veggie Tales, a lot of like the book of Ecclesiastes in like documentary 10 Commandments form. So like that was all I had growing up. So then when I discovered this whole other world that I was not exposed to, like that led my rebellion. That became like, you didn't expose me to this. How dare you? And then bam, Mariah Carey. So like
Mariah Carey's the first person you listen to.
Mariah, and they told me her name is Mariah Carey. So like, I was saying it wrong for such a long time.
And no one corrected you.
No one corrected me. But so yeah, it was just a lot of rebellion, little by little, to a point where they just decided, okay, Josh is just Josh. He's just gonna stay in his room, and that's what he does. And it's just been like years and years of like trying to go back to my parents and be like, I'm not actually messing up my life. Like I am just drawn to certain things. I follow my curiosity, and therein lies my passion. And when I'm there, I work really hard at the things that I care about. So I mean, now I'm not at that point anymore where I'm trying to like please my parents and show them that I'm not a wreck. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. Yeah,
It's how funny, right, Ben?
Exactly. Just everything that you've just said is what Hossan went through. Exactly, right down to a letter, except
Except that it wasn't Mariah Carey. Mine was, I thought carpenters were a job.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Because
Jesus was a carpenter.
Exactly. So I thought, wow, they were young guy. So I was a bit, I think the first time I ever listened to pop music was 1983.
To my house.
That was, yeah, your house. No, 1983 was when I was still in secondary school. Sec 1. And it was when suddenly MTV exploded all over
Right.
television. And it was the first time I went, you mean there's this person called Michael Jackson? You mean there's this song called Sweet Dreams Are Made of This? What do you
And
mean?
Culture Club.
And Culture Club, which was censored on Singapore television.
Really?
Karma Chameleon, the video, it was up for best video that year. And and that was my first foray into pop music. Because before that, it was me playing the piano and organ in church, right?
Right, yeah.
Amazing Grace and all that. And then suddenly, so any kind of music before 1983, I had no clue. I didn't know who the Bee Gees were. I didn't know who the Carpenters were. ABBA, I had no idea. I was like, oh my gosh, what's Dancing Queen? It's so good, So yeah, so your life and my life kind of like parallels each other that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, both turned out okay.
yeah, pretty much, except for my.
Yeah, we've stopped trying to convince parents of.
I think. What do you think? Having said that, being successful in what you do kind of eases that worry for them that
yeah.
will turn out weird. I mean, that's
Yeah.
When it translates to checks, when it translates to like putting actual cold hard cash in my mother's hand, and then they're like, "Oh, not bad, huh? Not bad, huh? Wow."
I think that's kind of true, lah. In a way, there's nothing better than showing them that we are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we'll be taken care of by ourselves. Rather than relying on them.
I think for me, I'm eternally grateful to my mom's church pastor for telling her that her son is successful, but not in a monetary way. He used to cut out newspaper clippings and send it to her. And he made a dossier for her to keep. Said, "Hey, look, your son wrote this show. You should go and watch." And she never did, but still she kept it very, very nicely. So when she passed away, I cried, man. I saw the whole dossier.
And you didn't know that she was keeping it.
I didn't know she kept it. She basically had absolutely no interest, or what I thought, no interest in anything that I was doing. I just went ahead and did it.
But it's something that I think as people in this industry, very hard to get parents and people who are a bit older than us, like their kind of approval.
Yeah.
I think. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Like, my parents have never come to any one of my shows. They've never like cut out a newspaper article or like.
But you don't know that.
I don't know that, but like when I do show it to them, they just shrug it off. So I just assume they don't. And I know they're not in the audience. So I mean, like, there was a period of time where I was really angry about that. But it's just reached a point where it's just like it is very different for them to and maybe their way of supporting does not mean it has to be in the audience, you know, like,
Correct.
and I've learned to realize that it's more of I want them to be there, you know, like, and I just want to eliminate that, you know.
But it's I think it comes with the territory of what we do.
Yeah.
Because not all the kind of shows that I do, my parents will actually make an effort to come. You know, when I did Hosanna last year, I had to buy tickets for them to come the second time because they said, so and so didn't come. But ultimately, I know that they're really kind of proud of us.
Yeah,
They
but
just-
you don't
yeah.
expect them to come and watch you in Asian Boys Volume 1.
No,
Yeah.
no, or Mardi Gras, or Top or Bottom, you know, those kind of shows.
It could be something that they need to like figure out on their own journey, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as simple as just coming to the show and being filling that seat for you. I think it's
Absolutely.
for them to be like, okay, I am going to go see his show, and if they have not reached that point where they're able to do that I mean, respect to them, you know. They are on their journey, right?
Of course.
I felt for them when they were growing old. I suddenly realized they must have been really disappointed because they sent my sister to law school. They sent me to law school. Never. My sister quit after 5 years. I never practiced. They sent my brother to engineering school. He never
Became an
practiced.
engineer, yeah.
Yeah, and he became a photographer, and none of us fulfilled their expectations at all, lah. So whether they came to terms with it or not, that was something that troubled me because now that I have a kid myself, so what is my expectation for my son? Am I pressuring him to do what he doesn't want to do? So that's one lesson that I will always take with me. Yeah.
I want a child so badly. Like, don't you think, like, Hossan, you'd be a great dad?
That's what I
think
say.
Yeah, I know. I think
Yeah.
I would, but I think I'm not responsible enough. I can't even take care of myself. Wow, take care of a child.
That's one of our friends said that Hossan is like a playground to the children.
I tell you, you know, children just come to me like I'm the Pied Piper, and
It's
they
your
just
smile. You have this like incredible smile that just lights up.
But it's funny though. I mean, they climb all over me and they go, Uncle Hossan, and it just is a reflection on my dad because my dad was like that. Kids would run to him and jump all over him. So yeah, I'm glad. You know, I'm glad I have that little draw.
It's great. It's a
Now,
gift.
how you studied film?
Yeah.
In school, but then how did you enter into this media industry, so to speak?
I fell in love with film first. Radio was something that I like listening to, but like I wanted to be an actor, and then I tried auditioning for a whole bunch of things. I never got anything, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna try writing, and so I went to film school in Ngee
Yep.
so FSV, to study that, and then I learned directing, I learned sound, I learned all the works, right? So everything is from that diploma. But there was also a CCA for radio, which I joined just for fun because I was just mucking around in my friend's radio studio.
Was that with Mario? Or no?
Yes,
Mario.
yes.
Oh my gosh, Mario was my colleague in Power 98.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
I actually was gonna try to go for Power, so I went in for an interview, and I was trying to do Power 98 for Army because Mario was like, he's such a great mentor when I was in school, and he really believed in me, which was really sweet. And he said, you know, you could try applying for radio for your NS. So I tried doing that, but I hadn't gotten my PES status yet.
Okay.
So when I did get my PES status, I think there was like change in management, like everyone was very different. Suddenly it was like Jamie Yo covered in spices from American Beauty. Like it was that period. And I just didn't know who to talk to, and Mario had left already.
Right.
So I thought, okay, so I'm gonna just go do film stuff because I did film in the Army. And after that, I was shooting wedding videos and corporate videos and events coverage and stuff like that. Just long hours, a lot of editing, but I like editing. And I went to Mario texted me. He's like, there's a radio station at 91.3 that they're looking for a radio job. Why don't you just give it a shot? And I didn't think much of it, so I just like recorded a demo on my GarageBand. I just sent it in. No reply for a month. And then I got a reply back from the program director, and he said, come down,
This
bring
is
your
Jamie.
IC. Yes,
Yeah.
come down, bring your IC. So I met Wee Wang, who was in charge of SPH Radio then, and she was like, yeah, we like you. Because I thought I was going in to do like social media stuff, because this was like the start of
the beginning of that.
yeah, Instagram, Facebook really coming up, and a lot of like mainstream media using those platforms as an arm as well. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna do YouTube stuff for them, you know. And they were like, why don't you just just go on to the show as well and just do weather and traffic? I was like, yeah, sure, sounds fun. I started doing that.
Weather and traffic.
Just do weather and traffic and just make it funny. I'm like, okay, how funny can weather be? So I joined a trio, Boy Thunder and Adam. So Boy Thunder is Jericho. So now he is in 987. So one by one, each of the trio left me alone. So they just kept leaving the show. Something obviously is up with me, right? With working with me. So Boy Thunder left, then Adam left, then it became my show.
Wow, okay.
And I started doing a lot of interviews because my love for film comes first, right? So I'm a fan first. So I would always say yes for all the press junkets, anything to do where I get to meet these people that I always adore and look up to on the screen. I would jump for it. So I started doing all these interviews, and there were a lot of opportunities in Kiss 92. So they moved me from 91.3 to Kiss 92, and then voila, Josh is gonna Kiss.
And I must say though, all the interviews that you do with these celebrities, Hollywood people, I've always enjoyed them because you do it from a place of I don't know, it's just interesting that you don't harp on the story or the movie, but you deal with them as people.
Yeah.
And why is that so?
Because I grew up watching a lot of DVD commentaries, so I collect DVDs. So I always watch the deleted scenes, listen to the actors' commentary throughout the whole film. I watch all the special features, so I know how interviews are conducted. But I'm also a big Oprah fan. I religiously listen to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday Conversations. You know, so like I'm in that. You know, and I think initially when I first started doing interviews, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, honestly. Like, because I was taught get anything that will go viral, just be as salacious as you can, just be as Howard Sterny as you can. You know, just get the reaction, and that's all you need. And I didn't really enjoy that. Like a part of me just didn't sit well with just trying to get that soundbite.
The soundbite, yeah.
You know, and I think there were a couple of interviews where I think it was the Katy Perry one. So I did one with Katy Perry in Tokyo, and I was just in. It was my first trip to Tokyo. I've always dreamt of going to Tokyo. We could never afford to go to Tokyo. So here I am being paid to go to Tokyo, put up in a nice hotel, and interview Katy Perry for 15 minutes. So that ended up being a 45-minute conversation.
Wow.
Where we just talked. And I always root my interviews. It always goes back to my relationship with God. And I'm going to 100% transparent about this. At least I can do it here. I always pray before my interviews because I get nervous, super nervous. I always pray to calm my nerves. And for Katy Perry, her dad's a pastor as well. My dad's a pastor. So the first thing I did was relate to her on that note. And then we just started talking about life. We talked a bit about the music, so I pleased the record label. So I got the promo stuff done. But there are a lot of things that I wanted to just speak to her about and connect with her about on a personal level, but also as a fan, like things that I wanted to know. And that interview went really well. So I just took it as, okay, from now on, every interview that I do, I pray first. I always get on my knees. I pray first. And I pray to not make it about me. I pray that this will be a conversation that whoever who finds this interview, they need to hear this. And the person who is answering my questions, they get to hear something about themselves. Because sometimes, like I do that, I need to speak. I need to verbally speak sometimes. Like I was just in Bangkok on my own. I was quite miserable. My friend was supposed to go with me, and then the whole COVID thing happened. And
I see, because I saw those pictures and I thought, oh yeah, that's nice. You're in Bangkok.
By myself. And there was 2 days where I just had no one to talk to.
Okay.
And and that happens a lot, lost in translation in Tokyo, right? So what I would do is I would just pick up my phone and pretend like I'm talking to someone, and I would just speak. Sometimes I just need to speak, because sometimes when you just let things out, I learn things about myself as well. So I need to hear myself say these things. So I've realized the power of that. So when I do my interviews, I try to ask the questions that the person will hear the things that they need to hear for themselves, that they speak on. So that has been great and humbling, because it never is about me. So whenever people say they like the interviews, I'm like, great, it's a collaboration.
And it really looks and sounds like it, you know, a wonderful collaboration with the celebrities or the Hollywood people. And you've had the chance to go around the world, right? So which was your favorite city to be in, to do interviews or meet people? Because you've had amazing stuff, right? You did Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You did This Is Me somewhere in
Yeah, I recorded This Is Me at Abbey Road Studios.
How great was that?
In London.
Wow.
That was insane. London is great. I really like London. I miss London, actually. I'm not fond of LA.
Okay.
I'm really not fond of LA.
No.
Mainly because like every time I walk out, I feel like everyone around me is a model and an actor. Like everyone's so insanely good looking that it's just crippling for me.
It's a bit like that in Sydney as well, if you think about it. Because I think it's the beach culture.
Maybe.
So everyone's got to show off some boobs or something.
Yeah, tan and great teeth.
For a tall.
Yeah.
I like Tokyo. I think Tokyo because I feel like the downtime in Tokyo, like after the interview, I can go to an izakaya by myself. You know, that's kind of nice. Go to a sushi restaurant, you know, just be by myself a little bit. I kind of like that.
Because Ben's got a good... you like Tokyo.
I love Tokyo. I mean, for me, Tokyo is like, that's the center of the universe here. My family's half Japanese. Yeah. So every time we go to... There's something for everyone there. That's why you can actually, you know, hang out in an izakaya by yourself. Yeah. And that's one concept that hasn't really taken off in Singapore. There are plenty of izakayas here, right? But they don't get the idea that this is my decompression time. I'm here to have a drink and a couple of skewers of meat, and that's it.
Miyagi. I love it.
But I guess in Singapore, everyone's so rah all the time, you know, also on the move. I think decompressing they don't understand what it means.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just taking an exhale, or like I try to do that on my show sometimes. Like I'll feel certain things and be like, okay, if you just got in the car, don't put the key in yet. Just take a deep breath. Don't pick up the wife yet. Don't start the car. Just stay in the car for a while. Just breathe.
Shoop, shoop, shoop.
Just breathe. It's so hard for people to understand.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to understand because I'm a go-getter all the time. But I think as we get older, I kind of realize that the need to sit still for a little while. In the day and just not do anything.
Yeah, pockets of time. So you don't need like 2 hours of meditation. Just like you go to the washroom, you know, like before stepping out, just give yourself like 10 seconds.
Okay, it's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Learning quite a bit in this session here.
Especially Super Soul Sunday conversations, everyone.
Yeah, the 15 minutes preparing before an interview, that's a really good tip.
So what do you guys do to relax then? I mean, you know, what do you do outside of work?
I'm actually very, people assume that I'm like a fireball all the time. I mean, like, Hossan, you'll completely relate to that. You know, like, you see us on stage and in front of the camera, we can be the jester. We can play that role really well. But that is also draining. Like, every time I'll play that role, right? I'll come out of it and just be like... Like I just don't want to see anyone. I just want to be by myself for a while. So like I've been doing that. I like reading now. So I started reading recently, and I'm a very slow reader because I'm very fidgety.
Okay.
You know, like I got to tap my feet. I got to move. But I've been training myself to read books. So that's been really helpful. Also, journaling has been really helpful. So I do that. I go watch movies by myself because I work at odd timings just like you. It's like I work at night. When everyone wants to go out at night, I'm working. You know, so I don't really have a social life, and I haven't really had a social life for a while. And I used to fight that, but now I kind of embrace it.
Okay, Ben, you've got a full-time job as well, so finding that balance to relax. And I always tell you, get out of the office now at 7-8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's been tough. I've been at this agency for about 3.5 years, and it's nonstop. And I was telling our producer as well that he was asking me, so what accounts are you working on? I said, I lost count. What campaigns lost count? I don't know how many things that we're on. So getting that, stepping out and decompressing, it's absolutely necessary. Yeah. Some of us find not very constructive ways to do it. Some of us drink too much. I sometimes drink too much. As we get older as well, we give in to our excesses quite a fair bit.
What do you mean as we get older? Back when we were 30.
I mean, the challenge is to try to decompress as you are compressing. You know, like try to not draw the line between like work and like everything else, and like try to also work but also have like a calm state of mind. So like playing the gesture but also having pockets of moment in there, or at least handling it well consciously. I think that helps as well.
Because I think Ben and I are fortunate in the sense that we are in the arts, in the sense where you write, and that gives you a chance to also explore something different from what you do day to day.
Correct. It keeps me sane, the different pursuits actually. So I actually encourage my team at work to actually have side gigs. So I've got one girl who's she's a content planner, content strategist by day. By night, she's a dressmaker. So just keep pushing them out. What do you feel like doing on the side? So I keep telling them, go get it, go do it. Yeah, make time for it. And then they'll ask, can I leave at 5 p.m. today? Yeah, please go.
That's great.
Yeah.
I started rock climbing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where?
At on-site climbing gym.
Oh,
it was because
okay.
I went on this one Tinder date, right? And he was like, hey, let's go rock climbing. And I'm like, sure. And then I went there and I saw the rock wall, and it's very tall, you guys.
Yeah.
It's very tall.
Don't you have to train before that?
And
Just climb.
I have like fat boy syndrome because I always think that anything I do, I'm just going to tumble Humpty Dumpty style and just look like a mess, and I was going to start pointing and laughing.
So short man syndrome. That wall is very high.
Yeah, it's too high. And I'm tall as well. So people assume that I'm going to do this really well, and I know I'm king of klutz. Like, I feel like every kind of sport, I approach it like Bridget Jones. Like, I know I'm going to mess it up, So I did not attempt at all, and it was like one of the worst dates ever. But then I could not live with that. I was like, okay, no. I need to handle this rock wall on my own. So I scheduled a session by myself, didn't tell anyone. I went to go rock climbing on my own. And then I met up with some friends and we tried doing it together, like no judgment whatsoever. Now I love it.
Great.
Ooh,
wow. That's something maybe we should look into, rock climbing.
Let's think about
Hey.
it.
But your son does it, Kai. Does he?
He does too many things. Yeah. I live vicariously through him. Yeah.
You should go with him and do it with him.
I tried it once. I couldn't
sure.
make it to the top. Just could not. The wall was just too high. So when people ask me, so where do you like to work out? In my mind, lor.
But it's great to hear the way you think, Josh, how you approach doing stuff like, for example, rock climbing.
Yeah.
Is this the same way you would approach your creative process, like writing your songs, writing your scripts? Like, I have to, I've conquered this. I have to, so therefore you just go straight into it.
Well, I haven't figured out the blueprint of how I write or how I handle the creative side of things, because it comes and it goes, it shifts. So sometimes, like initially when I started writing music, it used to be from a word that I'm drawn to, and then I'll create a narrative from that one word, so it sort of grounds the song. Right now, like I've been actually secretly practicing this one piece of advice from Nathan Hartono. So I've known Nathan for a few years, but like we're not like super close or anything, but he said one songwriting piece of advice ages ago, and he probably thinks it's nothing much, but like it just has become like the most important thing for me, which is to stop editing things, because I'm an editor. I love editing videos, editing everything, right? Edit my captions as well on Instagram all the time. And he just said stop editing. And so now when I write, I just write. Very minimal editing, and I look at it as, okay, even if it doesn't make sense to me tomorrow, it made sense to me when I first wrote it. So I'm just going to honor that energy, and I'm just going to write and keep it in there. Grammatical errors, everything. That said something about me on where I was when I wrote that. So that's how I handle my creativeness. I don't know. That's how it is right now. So it's constantly changing. It's constantly shifting. I'm not sure if I figured out like how I approach things. I'm very I like when it comes to art. I like the unknown, like this other dimension.
So you trust your gut feeler, basically.
Kind of like this other world that exists that we just draw that energy from. And I try not to organize it too much. Like if I feel like the spirit tells me something, then I'll take it and run with it.
But when I do that, right, I feel like I'm an imposter. I don't know.
How do you mean?
I don't know, because whenever I do creative stuff, right, and a decision comes and I make it and it's good and it works, I go like, I don't know, I mean, it didn't come from any analysis or calculation or, do you know what I mean?
But here's the thing. So instinct, right, is actually your brain calculating its past experience and coming out with the best solution. So that's why they say experience counts, because the faster you make a decision is because you've got that experience to be able to come to that quick fire instinct.
Because most of the time I think I'm bluffing my way through life.
I'm the same.
see, I like tapping into the energy thing because then it feels like it's not me, you know. And so if anyone doesn't like it, I'd be like, okay, well, blame the spirit then. You know, it's got nothing to do with me. And I kind of like it that way. Like I remember, there's this one prayer that I said very, very long time ago when I was a teenager, and I said, like, God, take control. You know, like, because I feel like when I have control, like you have good control, Hossan. Like I don't. Like I don't trust my instinct. I don't trust anything that I do. Right, everything the opposite of a Midas touch. You know, so like I always pray and be like, everything I touch just always turns to crap. You know, so like I rather you just take over, and any good thing I'm just gonna like redirect that positive praise to you, and I'm just gonna be like, I was just there, the catalyst. You know, so like that's kind of how
that's
I operate.
a good way.
That's a good way.
Yeah, and it's for me. That's you think that I do it on my own. No, I don't. I also pray before I do my stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, no matter who you or what you believe in, for me that's what's true to me. And I think it kind of guides us through, you know, life, adulting in a sense, because I really don't know half the time what I'm saying or doing on stage even, you know.
Actually, it helps. I think in the last 5 years or so, I've grown more confident in the writing.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
You can see it.
Yeah.
And it's comes from exactly what we're talking about, that the work is greater than me. It's not me that's doing. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a tool that can put the words down. Everything else is out there that I can assemble. I've been happy to assemble it, to be able to assemble it together and come out with a piece of work. So I think as you get calmer when you realize, okay, the work is much, much bigger than who I am. So that's where you take yourself out of it and you start to produce really, really good stuff.
Yeah. Also, I'm like zero self-confidence. That's why I'm just like...
I mean, we all started
like that. Oh my gosh.
We were bullied in school.
Well, yeah. And can I just say that, like, when Ben and I wrote our first monologue together called Multiple Personalities Disorder, where I played like 28 different personalities on stage in 2 hours.
That wasn't my idea.
Yeah, that wasn't my idea. But anyway, that show, I freaked out 5 days before opening. I had a major breakdown. I said I couldn't go on. It's not funny. Refund the tickets back. But that was one of the funniest shows we ever did together in the end. That was how insecure I was in the script, in myself, in the show.
And because I was insecure, they didn't tell me that he had a breakdown, because then there'll be complete disaster.
The breakdown was so drama, okay?
What's your breakdown like?
I mean, I just stood there and nothing came to mind. It was stand-up. It was a monologue, right? And I had to play Cher, I had to play Whitney, I played Barry Manilow, I played all these personalities, like 28 of them in 2 hours, and I just couldn't remember a single thing. Blanked. And I said, it's not funny. Cry. Bang table, bang chair. Then our director went, okay, everyone out the door. Go out. Sit me down. Calm me down. And said, you know, we open in 5 days. You can't ask for refund, you know. They don't care. So yeah, that was a journey for me as well, doing that show so many years ago. And then growing up in that process.
I want to see that Netflix special.
Me breaking down.
Yeah, just like everything, like how you do. Because I just watched Hossan for The Importance of Being Earnest, and I just don't know how you guys memorize the lines.
But that's what rehearsals are for.
Right, but that's a lot of words.
Yeah, that particular play is difficult. For me, you know, I took a long time to remember. And now, 10 years after we first did it, it's only begun to click in my brain what my character actually does. And so this time, it's taken that long, a decade, you know, doing this show over and over again. So I think for us, it's always, as artists, it's always a growing process. It's always a learning. You can't say you've arrived.
Yeah.
You know, if you say you've arrived, then I think
you should give up.
That's give up, really, you know. So for me, it's always been trying to better myself. Hence this podcast as well.
I like it. I dig it.
Still has the same nervous energy before every opening night. It's hilarious.
I don't know about you guys, but I need to shit, puke, and pee all at the same time.
Said loud side, loud Joe, everything.
Sorry, I just saw that image in my head.
Yeah. So you must have a sink nearby while you're on the bowl. Yeah.
Do it in the shower. It's easier.
Cue.
Drama center.
Drama center.
It's like 20 minutes before curtain. Say, okay, Hossan, I'll see you later. I know what you need to do.
It's all. No, have you been called a millennial? I'm sure you have.
A millennial?
All right.
I still don't understand what that means.
Well, anybody younger than us are millennials.
Okay.
What do you think your generation faces as a now, as opposed to like when we were your age? Do you know?
Because like you would expect us to say like, oh, social media, you know? Because like when I was growing up, like now with the whole COVID thing, like when we had SARS, we didn't have social media, you know?
For sure.
So whatever we knew about the virus, we learned from school or we learned from our parents and that was it. Or we turned on the news.
And we didn't
9:30.
panic.
We did not panic.
We didn't panic because we had no way to learn about the panic.
Yeah. You know, just PCK was just, you know, that was all it was. Just listen to his rap and that's it. SARS the virus. But like at the same time, like I remember what it was like before social media as well. So I don't know, like I don't know if I can represent my generation, but because like these kids, and when I say kids, they're gonna call me a boomer. That's a new term.
Yeah.
You know, like they are using social media and they ain't got no problem with it. You know, like they have so many new platforms, and I feel like my generation, the millennials maybe, are like kind of stuck in between because we do remember the 90s. We do remember what it was like having a Discman and like buying CDs, and I still collect my vinyl records. You know, so and then we also have the social media thing, and we kind of feel stuck in between.
So you're exactly where we used to be.
Right. Yeah. I think that's always going to be the case.
Yeah,
isn't
right.
Because
So
technology is going
it's
to
like
constantly.
it's cyclical. So
Yeah.
so Gen Z is right now where you saying that these are the next generation, right?
Yeah.
Because
Like
we
they seem-
straddled both the analog and digital when we had cyclo-styling machines. Remember that? You don't remember that, right?
No.
Because in church, before photocopiers came, I used to cyclostat.
The
It's a
order of
crank?
service. Yeah, it's a crank.
You have to crank. It's not photocopy, so you put carbon, you put this paper on top, and and it will print all the bulletins for Sunday. Every Saturday, I'll do it.
Biceps.
Yeah, well, used to have lah. So you see,
So
and
the
then-
clerks in the army.
yeah, the clerks are pest A, man.
I love it.
Yeah, so I think we kind of understand what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
Where we used to go, we don't understand what millennials are talking about, all the terms you use, and then is it different now for you too? Then
I don't know. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, like I feel like I worry for the younger generation, like because they have to use the internet, they have to be on social media, otherwise they don't exist. You know, I feel like I'm in that middle generation where I can say that I'm taking a break. You know, and it's okay.
Yeah, interestingly, sorry, my son, he's 11 next month. He's completely off social media. He doesn't get why we're on it. He says, "Why do you have to post pictures of me?" Yeah,
But
Don't like
Kai
it.
is special that way, though. He doesn't follow the mob or the pack
Yeah.
because he's not in a pack. You know what I mean?
Perhaps, but no, but his friends are like that as well.
Okay.
They all protest against their parents posting stuff, and so we have to keep asking them permission. I think this is a very nice photo. You should post it so that you can get sponsors.
Which is good. Which is good that you ask him permission, and rather than nowadays parents who just take pictures of their kids and putting it all over the place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it can be used for good. There was a period of time, I think I started off the year not on social media for a while. I just took a break. There's a period of time where I deactivated my accounts as well. And I did enjoy that time away from it. You know, because the thing to do now when you travel, when you go to your hotel room, first thing to do is to film your hotel room. Right? That's the thing. When food comes, you film the food.
Yeah.
You know, when you're with your friends, you take a selfie. Like all those things are sort of mandatory. Otherwise, you did not go at all on this vacation. You know, so I went on a few trips without having to use social media. So when food came, I ate, you know, and it felt really nice. And then I would think, okay, yeah, I wish I could just not use social media, but it's going to be tough because I do radio and I have to promote these things. And will I lose these opportunities if I get off social media then, you know? But then, like last night, I tried cooking this noodle, Hong Kong noodles with mushrooms and tofu, and I completely messed it up. And I took photos of it on my Instagram, and like 20-30 people start sharing all these things I can use to season my food because I'm trying to go plant-based.
Okay.
So that like I can't use chicken stock because I forgot chicken stock was from chicken. It's a cube, right? You forget it's powder. So I forgot. And then no fish sauce, you know, and oyster sauce I'm assuming is made from oysters.
I think
Bits of
so.
it.
Bits of it, the
Yeah.
shell.
Mostly salt, but
yeah, and I was like, what am I gonna use to season it? And people were just offering advice, and it was really sweet, you know. So like, social media can be fun and it can be used for good. It can
Yeah.
archive all your photos that you like as well. So I think you just gotta be attentive to how you are reacting to it. You know, like if you feel like you're stressed out, you're having anxiety over something, like I learned that you need to be able to point at it. So if you're pointing at your phone, then turn it off. And you need to be able to turn it off.
You mean literally physically point at your phone and say turn off?
Yeah, what is causing you stress right now? You need to point at it and then sort it out. Yeah, physically point at it.
Point.
Yes, point at it.
I'm pointing at my producer now. No,
Exactly.
kidding.
You are the cause of my stress.
No, not at all. All right, so what's next for Joshua Simon? I mean, a little birdie told me there's new music in the works.
Yes. I didn't think I would keep doing music because it's a lot of money spent.
True. Investment, I'd say.
Yeah. But I wrote 2 songs. One I wrote on Friday and then I recorded it on Saturday, and it sounds really cool. And listening to it back, even the way I'm writing is very different than how I used to write. The sound is very different. So I like it. So I like that it's bringing something out of me. So if it is doing that, I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm going to put out 2 songs this year. No album as of yet. Just 2 songs, very different from each other. I'm going to try to do music videos for each of them, proper visual treatments and everything. I am flying to Mumbai in a couple of weeks. My first time, Mumbai.
Wow, an adventure.
Yeah, I'm interviewing Chris Hemsworth.
Can I come?
Absolutely, because I have no idea what Mumbai is like.
Neither do I.
We'll figure it out
I know
together.
what Chris Hemsworth looks like.
Can't already.
Because you did Hugh Jackman, not why you interviewed Hugh Jackman many times.
Yeah.
Wow. How is he like? What's he
he's
like?
so warm. Like he and Ryan Reynolds, like they are like the sexiest men on earth. Super powerful.
Exactly, and they're so real, right?
They are just warm. Like you can tell they don't care about the celebrity life. You know, like I've interviewed Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds 4 times each, and like I've even hung out with Hugh Jackman in his green room, and he's just so chill. He's just a man who wants to be a good husband to his wife, and he wants to, like, we always see Hugh Jackman as this big action star. His love was theater, so he started off as Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. So that's why Greatest Showman was so important for him, because he just wants to sing.
Yeah,
that's all. He just wants to sing. Let the man sing.
He's a showman.
Exactly. So now he gets to do that. And Ryan Reynolds, there's a period of time where he was just typecast as the boyfriend character when he wants to crack jokes. He's got great wit, you know, like he's very spontaneous with that, you know. So now he's getting to do that, you know. So and it always, like when I meet all these celebrities, when they ground their work on their craft, with their craft, you don't see celebrity anymore. You just see a person who's just trying to promote the work that he's done or she's done, and that's the best kind of interview.
Can I just say that maybe it's because of the environment they were brought up in? I mean, Ryan Reynolds is Canadian,
yeah.
And Hugh Jackman is Australian.
Yeah.
And so is Chris Hemsworth, and I've heard that he's also quite an amazing person to talk with. Do you know? Maybe it's the kind of environment they were brought up in.
Environment brought up in, and also the environment you're currently in as well. I think the people that handle you, that take you on your handlers are very important. I hear all these stories about, like, sometimes these celebrities have an entourage to just remind them that they're awesome and constantly tell them everything they do is awesome. Just like yes men around them. That can be very dangerous, and not just for celebrities but for us as well. Like the friends that we have. If it's just a whole bunch of yes men, that's very bad as well. You know. So I think surrounding yourself with good people is very helpful as well. Like I interviewed Britney Spears, and I thought Britney Spears was going to be super uptight and like it's going to be a whole bunch of publicists, you know. And even though there were many publicists listening, when she actually spoke to me, she was just herself. She was very silly. You know, all she cared about was like being a mom and her kids, and she just happened to be on tour, and she happens to be a sex symbol, but she doesn't look at herself that way. You know. She just likes dancing and likes singing, and she likes being silly. Like that's Britney Spears. She has a very fun, aloof side of her.
Wow, I didn't realize that. I mean, because what we see and what on the media is all what we're fed with. Yeah. So you're so fortunate to be able to see through all that.
Yeah, and I forget. Like I still listen to Britney Spears, and I forget that I've interviewed her.
Dang.
It's very weird. It's very weird. Like the illusion of it all, you know. And I just want to say one more thing. So even when I watched Hossan for Importance of Being Earnest, so it's at the Wild Rice Theatre at Funan, right? So I'm like 3 seats from the stage, which still scares me.
You're so close.
I get so scared being so close to the stage, because I always think they're gonna like come off stage and they're gonna come near me, and I'm gonna get really scared, because like when I see actors on stage, I forget they're actors. I forgot that Hossan Leong was in the production, you know. So and it terrifies me. I think there's so much power in that that illusion of theater, the music industry, and entertainment. And then when we're fortunate enough to look behind the curtain of Oz, then we see the people behind it. But I think there's also beauty in both. Like
for sure.
storytelling. Yeah.
Great. Well, if people want to follow you, Josh, how we're going to do that on social media?
I live at Bukit Panjang.
Okay,
you can actually follow me. No.
Follow you home.
I'm on Instagram at Joshua Simon XL.
That's right. And as well on Kiss 92, you can tune into Josh on Josh's Good Night Kiss.
Yes.
And also Ben's program.
Yes, please.
Booking in with Mr. Miyagi, 8 to 10 to midnight every Sunday.
Here we are promoting each other's programs. Fantastic.
Yeah. Hey, how about you drop your 2 songs debut on Power 98?
Hey, I would love if a radio station would play my music. Like one of the new songs that I'm putting out is very, very poppy, but I'm not sure if all this like industry thing will get in between that.
Let's give it a shot.
You never know, right?
I will. I'm going to send it around. If anyone says no, I'll take it personal.
But on that note, I want to say that Gavin, you interviewed us for I got him to listen to your songs, and he absolutely loves Drive. He told me, he says, wow, Josh's music on Spotify, he was listening in. He said, tell him that I really loved it.
Ooh, he's an incredible actor. Incredible actor. He's a director, right? I need to see his movie, the Pontianak one.
Because he wrote that and co-directed that with Glenn Gui. So check Pontianak out. It's very beautifully shot.
Okay.
All right. So Fishbowl. Now we gonna pick one topic and then we're gonna talk about it. All right. Here we go. Review the last the last Netflix show you watched.
Oh gosh.
You've been watching.
I've been watching.
Okay.
The Crown. Binge watched season 3 all the way.
But you've seen season 1 and 2 already? Oh, okay. I found season 1 very slow. It was the middle.
It was, but it's still one of those shows where you want to quickly go in Wikipedia, see whether that really happened or not.
True.
Yeah. True. That's what I like about it.
So how do you find season 3?
I thought it was better paced than seasons 1 and 2. The acting was amazing. Yeah, really, really amazing. And I can't wait for season 4 lah. Really want them to come back.
So Olivia Colman, how is she?
She is amazing. She manages to bring something to the Queen's character, the aloofness as well as the little bit of vulnerability that we expect. I mean, that we assume happens lah. Ever
since I started watching it, I started Wikipedia, finding out how true it was, whether the palace would actually sue them for making it fiction. You know, it's interesting.
Apparently, the palace watches it.
They better, right? But does the Queen watch it, you think?
I don't know. They want to ask Prince Harry since he's no longer a royal.
Oh yeah, he can spill the beans. Yay!
Your grandmother got watch this show.
Your grandmother's house. I'm actually currently watching season 1 of Altered Carbon. My goodness, I've never seen so much nudity in my life. I thought
Altered carbon was what you eat when you got diarrhea. Oh no, activated carbon.
That was different. Charcoal.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's kind of drew me in. I'm not very much into dystopian future series types, but then when they say R18 and got nudity, I said okay, I'll watch it. Wow, it's quite mind blowing, I must say. But I don't know. The acting a bit uneven throughout.
What made you watch it in the beginning?
Because I finished all my superhero ones already.
Oh. And then it was on the
and it was
menu.
It was this is meant for you. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then got a picture of naked man in the water. So I thought, okay.
Yes, you are right.
Yes, you are right. But apparently season 2 is really good because Brendan Fernandez and Crispian has said, we're watching it's really good. So, and it stars Anthony Mackie, from Avengers. So I have to finish this before I carry on. Then I understand what the hell's happening.
Okay, on my playlist.
Yeah, you should. And of course, we are going to invite you to subscribe to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to receive notifications when new episodes get released. And we love hearing from you. So if you have any comments, you can always leave a review below or drop us an email
at podcast@doubleconfirm.sg.
See you later.
The Hossan Leong podcast is brought to you by Double Confirm Productions. Hosted by Hossan Leong and Benjamin Lee. Produced by Ann Lee and Jem To. Post-mixed by Ken Delbridge and recorded at Splice Studios, Singapore.